Hi everyone, and welcome back to Captain Scarlet and the Mistrons, as I now take a look at episodes 23 and 24. Starting with episode 23, Noose of Ice. Eskimo booster station is due for a service by a maintenance man. And unfortunately for that maintenance man, he is taken out by the Mistrons. The Mistron threat states that Earth's new space rockets will not be launched. They will never get into space, and so forth. This all comes down to a new kind of fuel that is found under the ice. So, Scarlet and Blue are assigned to Hotspot Tower mining facility. This is obviously digging under the ice, and it's got like a sort of a lake of water around it. Now that lake of water is being kept deliberately hot by these power boosters so it doesn't freeze up. Anyway, so as I say, Scarlet and Blue are at Hotspot Station. It's interesting that Scarlet bumps into the Mistron agent face to face and no reaction. Intriguing. Anyway, the Mistron agent makes his way over to the powerhouse and he shuts everything down. And of course, the lake around the tower starts to freeze. So, once again, Scarlet comes to the rescue. He risks his life in going out into the lake in a like an underwater suit to get to the surface of Hotspot Tower, and then finally to drive the SPV over a bridge which is being crushed by the ice to the powerhouse, where the Mistron agent is waiting for him. Fortunately, Scarlet makes it, and he confronts the Mistron agent, and he takes the Mistron agent out with a high volt cable, not before being shot in the process by the Mistron agent. A wounded Scarlet manages to reconnect the power supply to Hotspot Tower, and they're back in business. Back on Cloud Base, Colonel White informs Scarlet and Blue it was a close run thing. The Mistrons did succeed in causing damage, and that damage would take 6 months to repair. So, I'm going to give this one 6 out of 10. So, clearly the Mistrons succeeded only to a minor degree. Overall, they failed, but they did cause some damage. But nevertheless, this is still a victory for Spectrum. It's not a big victory, it's like a moderate victory. And I think on that note, I'm going to press straight on to the next episode coming up very shortly. Right, so here we go with episode 24, Expo 2068. A reactor is being shipped across country. The former Captain Black, with the help of the Mistrons, diverts this truck and sends it to its doom. Obviously, the Mistrons now reconstruct that particular vehicle. And all seems to be going okay in the terms of their plans, because they're going to be a little bit more devious. The Mistrons send out their threat about the disaster that will hit North America. Spectrum is somewhat in the dark about it, because the truck driver, the Mistron driver should I say, is passing through these checkpoints, so they're unaware what's going on until he fails to go through one of these checkpoints. He's been given new orders from Black to turn off the road. Obviously, with information going backwards and forwards to Spectrum, they put 2 and 2 together and start to see the picture that this is the threat, this reactor. But the former Black is ahead of them. He's now hijacked a remote-controlled helicopter and sends it to the location where the reactor is. They are going to move the reactor into the cargo hold of this helicopter. Not before, obviously, removing all the safety devices out of the reactor. Now, for Blue and Scarlet, they are in pursuit of this vehicle, but they have no idea this swap has taken place. Unfortunately for a local man on the scene out cutting wood, he sees this operation and he gets shot by the Mistron. And the Mistron then just drives off and the helicopter takes off. Fortunately for him, he's located by Scarlet and Blue. He tells them Seneca. They're not quite sure what that means. Anyway, he's taken off to a hospital. Blue and Scarlet are in the SPV, hot pursuit of the lorry. They catch it up and they force it off the road. And they discover its cargo hold is empty. Yes, the reactor has been moved. Now, with further information coming into Spectrum, and with a little clue of Seneca given to Scarlet and Blue, they now realise that the reactor has been shipped elsewhere on board one of these remote-controlled cargo helicopters. And they eventually locate it. The former Captain Black tries to crash the helicopter, but fails. But he does sort of put it out of control. Scarlet gets on board the cargo hold of the helicopter where the reactor is, and he's in the process of shutting it down. And it's a race against time because it's overheating and it's about to go off. He just about does it. He's injured in the process of doing it, and unfortunately, just before he saves the day, you could say, the helicopter crashes. But nevertheless, Scarlet has achieved the goal of preventing this reactor going off. And of course, he's picked up by his friend, Captain Blue, who takes him back to Cloud Base to recover. 7 out of 10 for this one. Quite a good one. I like the idea that the Mistrons have been a bit more sneaky and underhanded by making this switch midway. So that's quite a good touch. I like that. But nevertheless, it was a victory for Spectrum. And on that note, I shall catch you on the next video in due course. Have a great day. Goodbye.